Okay, so thanks everyone for coming. This is the first Arweave Open Web Incubator demo day. So today we'll be hearing from, I think it's approximately 10 projects that have been working over the last 6 weeks to build profit-sharing token-backed web applications on top of the Arweave's PermaWeb. So this is an extremely exciting initiative, we think, which has essentially involved approximately 20 events just since the 7 weeks the profit-sharing tokens were announced, and the 8 weeks since SmartWeave as a smart contracting platform was announced, to build applications on top of the system and really seed the PermaWeb infrastructure with these exciting applications that end users can start coming to and using. I think one of the most exciting things we've seen during this period is how the original idea of a profit-sharing token has been iterated on by the community, and we've now ended up with a large variety of different ways that you can use these tokens we'd never really anticipated 6 weeks ago. So it's amazing to see how the community has sort of come together, iterated on the models, and built new and more exciting things than we ever thought was really possible when we started this. So although we're just going to see approximately 10 projects today, yes, there are essentially 39 projects that have signed up and taken part in this this initiative, essentially, across the Arweave ecosystem, which has been fantastic to see. And so this is just the tip of the iceberg, essentially. There's so much more going on under the surface. And we'd also just, if you just explore the PermaWeb ecosystem and you talk to everyone on Discord and the likes, after this event is over, you'll find some of those other projects and you'll see all of the other interesting work that is going on at the same time. So really, I'd just like to thank the 230 participants that came along and started building on top of this profit-sharing ecosystem on top of the PermaWeb over the last 6 weeks, and has essentially kind of banded together and made this thing a reality. It's super exciting. And on top of that, I'd really like to thank David, Lasser, and Kyle and Alex, some of our investors and also mentors that have taken the time today to come and see these demos, and then we'll talk to the community about their projects afterwards. We can't thank you enough. We know your time is scarce, so we really appreciate that. And finally, I would personally just love to thank the core Arweave and Gitcoin teams who have worked extraordinarily hard to get this thing done over the last 6-week period. Really, running 20 events in that time is no small feat. And it's just been amazing to see how the community participation and kind of relationships have grown over that period and through that series of events that they've run. So thank you all so much. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Over to you, Vivek.
Amazing. Thanks, Sam. For those who don't know me, my name is Vivek. Thank you to everyone who's here today. It's a culmination of a lot of great work. And I have to start by name: Sam, India, Seb, Cedric, everyone on the Arweave team. It's been just a pleasure working together. And I've learned a lot from understanding your vision with the PST ecosystem to then seeing it in practice with these great teams. So thank you to the teams for kind of pushing the boundaries on what is possible here. I'm going to share one brief slide. I think this is like the only thing that I really want to share, which makes me the most excited about the PST ecosystem and what's going on here. It comes from the module that I shared in the chat just a second ago. There's a really cool game by Nikki Case on trust and the evolution of trust. And it's really worth playing. I think everyone in the world should play that game. And when you get to the end of it, it talks about these 3 characteristics that build trust. It's repeat interactions within groups of people. It's the possibility for win-win scenarios, and it's low miscommunication. And when I think about the PST environment, when I think about what Arweave as a technology stands for, it builds these things into the base layer of building within this ecosystem. You are from the beginning incentivized to be a part of this ecosystem, to build high trust relationships. And I think that the way that Sam and team structured this event to be not about this 6 weeks, but about the future, but about what happens afterwards, is what makes me the most excited about what's happened here, is that this is really just the start. So I'm really excited for the presentations today, and thanks to everyone for being a part.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vivek. Thank you very much, Sam. Now, don't be angry at me. I'm going to boot you off the stage. I'm going to invite the first project in. All right. We'll see you in a second. Okay. And let's kick it off with ArDrive. Phil, it's your turn to go. Take it away.
Thank you, Sebastian. Okay, my name's Phil Mataris. I'm here to present ArDrive Secure Permanent Storage. Since the invention of the computer, we've had data that we want to hang on to for personal reasons, but saving things forever can be tricky. At-home options, DIY options have a lot of issues, and they usually only last 3 to 6 years. Whether it's managing USB drives, dongles, DVDs, floppy disks, RAID 10, redundant hard drives, these things aren't really consumer friendly. People don't want to have to do it, and why should they? Everyone seems to have these problems. While people have mostly moved away from those DIY options, once they heard about the magical computers up in the sky, our favorite cloud companies do offer some free alternatives to sync and back up your data, but mostly they require you to pay monthly fees that only go up. So if you're a data-hungry user, you're essentially paying endless subscription fees. Why settle for this when Arweave has given us the PermaWeb? With the PermaWeb, we can pay once and save forever. Data is uploaded and secured on an immutable blockchain where the server owners or miners are incentivized to store this data as long as possible. If they don't, they essentially give up the chance at earning more mining revenue. Once uploaded, anyone can access this data over the public internet, which is pretty powerful, I think. And that's what has given us our vision: to create a private, secure, decentralized, pay-as-you-go, censorship-resistant, and permanent data storage solution for everyone. And that's how we got the ArDrive beta, which is aimed at really doing one thing: to sync securely from your desktop. So we'll let you import or create your Arweave wallet. You can pick a drop folder to synchronize files to and from the PermaWeb. And you'll be able to encrypt and protect your files using the latest NIST encryption technology. And we've integrated it with a profit-sharing community to ensure the assistance in achieving our vision down the line. We'll talk about that in a sec. Let's jump into a demo to see the core API in action. I really wanted to show a UI, but it's not quite ready for prime time. So here we're essentially seeing me restore a backed up ArDrive using my wallet. So I'll enter in my username. I'll pick my drop folder path, ArDrive sync. Then I'll put in a login password and then a data encryption password, which will protect all my data as it's uploaded. I import my existing wallet, and then we're off to the races. So what it's going to do is first look to see if I have any files that aren't local on my device. So you'll see it's downloading and decrypting a few different files. I'm slowly dragging some information over into my ArDrive, some of it private, some of it public. And what it's going to do is scan that and look for any of that private data and encrypt it. As it's scanning, it'll culminate all the fees and ask me if I want to upload those. You'll see here this presentation, as well as this video, are actually coming from the PermaWeb itself. I was able to upload these with ArDrive, so they're public. Anyone can check them out. You'll see I'm actually deleting some files, which will be restored later. So I have about 16 megabytes of files. I'm uploading all 5 of them. I've hit yes, and each one is uploaded. As files are successfully uploaded, a tip is sent to our ArDrive profit sharing community, which we'll jump into right now. So our approach to revenue with ArDrive is pretty simple, albeit a little experimental. We want to ensure continual research and development and promotion of ArDrive, so we're going to apply a 15% fee on all data uploads, and that fee is fairly distributed to our token holders. We then want to ensure we have a deep roadmap with a lot of new and some fee-based features that follow our private, secure, and decentralized vision to further increase the value of our profit-sharing community. You can see here with prices taken from August 11th, we can estimate the break-even point for using ArDrive versus some of those cloud competitors. It's pretty clear that storing your information on ArDrive versus a subscription-based cloud service is a bit cheaper. Those subscription-based cloud services are more expensive over time. The PermaWeb fees are dynamic, so we always ensure we have a fair price for our data. We're trying to treat this community from a top-down perspective, starting with the core ArDrive team and branching out with the rest of the Arweave community and our profit-sharing community. We really want to look to them for new ideas, testing, hackathons, things like that. And then, of course, we want to involve a broad outreach to really everybody who needs secure, permanent storage. So hopefully, with your help, we have a deep roadmap we want to get into, starting with really finalizing our beta. I'd love to talk with you guys more about this. Just join my table and we can get into each item. So the team behind ArDrive, so my name is Phil Mataris. I'm a solutions architect with over a decade of experience in enterprise IT. Deployed a lot of different systems, cloud and on-prem, always really secure, manage different kinds of teams, and I've been passionate about Arweave since the early days, since the testnet. I have a few trusted advisors. I've been really lucky to have their help. Anthony Tripaldi, a technologist at the Google Creative Lab, created products deployed to millions, as well as Garrett McDonald, who's a fellow entrepreneur and blockchain expert. So if you'd like to reach out, send me an email, follow us on Twitter, or join our Discord. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you very, very much, Phil. Okay, now I'm inviting Jakub to the stage. Jakub, take it away, man.
Thanks for having me.
Hey.
I really want to thank you all of the Arweave team for organizing this incubator. It was a great experience. So let me share my screen and introduce you to Project Limestone, which aims to build a data ecosystem for decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is a hot topic right now in blockchain. It's a movement that tries to build alternative financial system and interacts more and more users, developers, and investors, reaching the market cap of $5 billion recently. But in this hot space, you can easily get burned, and a few protocols lost funds due to misreported pricing, oracle price manipulation, simply delayed pricing fees. So it's hard not to agree with the conclusion that DeFi is as secure as the data that powers it. And a market leader in providing asset pricing, Chainlink is currently worth more than all of the DeFi protocols together. But there is a problem with their approach when they put all of the data directly on Ethereum blockchains. Extremely expensive. As I ran calculation yesterday, Chainlink paid over $100,000 network fees just for a single day. Moreover, getting historical data from Ethereum blockchain is extremely hard, and it was never designed to be a random access database. So more and more protocols are looking into the direction of off-chain aggregators, but that brings the problems of trust and transparency. So the data providing companies are thinking about building a dedicated blockchain for data storage, but we already get one. It's pretty awesome because Arweave gives you the opportunity to store your data 1 million times cheaper. So it's not an optimization, it's like 0 to 1 transition. Moreover, Arweave comes with a built-in SmartWeave contract system, so we can algorithmically maintain data integrity and manage payment fees. And we can go beyond simply storing data, because on Arweave you can also keep computer code. So a script that can transfer one dataset into another, producing meaningful metrics and insight, or a code that can execute calls to external services or contracts. Let me quickly show you how it works in a real-world environment. So that's the fully deployed, publicly available website, and let us see sample datasets. So that's the description of the dataset with a period and a probing interval, and also the data provider. If I access that, I may see the recent feed of the Chi token price, some aggregate data. I can spot a peak in the price caused by the YAM farming craziness, and I can verify all of the data directly on the Arweave chain. Let me show you a more complex use case when I'm merging data from 5 different sources. So this is the calculation of my balancer mining rewards. Initially, it took me 3 days to run the script to calculate the rewards for a week. Right now, it's almost in the real time. I can see the history of my rewards with a small peak at the end when I just dumped more money to the pool. And I'm not restricted to see only my account. I can watch the history of other popular protocols that are integrated with Balancer, like mstable. So how can we monetize this solution? I'm a big fan of a profit-sharing token. I'd like to take it one step further and give the holders opportunity to stake their tokens on a dataset. This will allow to initially bootstrap reputation, but will also give them right to take part of the profit generated by dataset, but also by services integrated with these datasets and all of the executors linked to the services. So in other words, early investors in a popular dataset can earn the profit from multiple use cases. As you may have seen, currently there is a pricing module, there is one data processor that was developed together with Balancer community, and a user interface. I'd love to take it further, work on the third piece of the puzzle, executor, finalize the staking and reputation contracts, and focus on data access APIs and SDKs to reach market growth. I'm a software engineer with 10 years experience. Last 4 years was spent in blockchain. I also got experience in processing a large amount of data from smart contracts, leading an Ethereoscope project. Recently, I won 2 hackathons in London and New York working on DeFi project. That's why my fascination with the space. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm here in the lounge if you got any questions. I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you very, very much, Jakub. All right. Now I'm inviting Mike to the stage. Mike is going to present Evermore. All right.
Hi. Thanks for coming along and listening to our pitches today. I'm going to be talking with you a little bit about the product that I've been working on, which is called Evermore Data Store. I'll just share my screen. So Evermore Data Store is basically your data on the blockchain forever. Now, everyone knows that, the likes of storing data in the cloud is not a new concept. It's been around for quite some years now, but it is an expensive concept. And with that, you end up paying lots of fees and things like that to store data online. The main competitors for that are the Dropbox and OneDrive, Google Drive, or OwnCloud even. And the benefits of those services are that you get to store your data, but also you never lose it. Unfortunately, the cost of that is that you have to pay these monthly subscription fees that we spoke about earlier. Even if you have something like OwnCloud, which allows you to set up your own backup system, you still end up paying hosting fees and that sort of thing. And on top of that, you may never actually use the allocation of data that they give you for your subscription. For instance, Dropbox may charge you for 1 terabyte worth of storage space, but ultimately you may never use any more than 100 gigabytes of that. So you've still got all of this space that you never use. So the solution to this is really to use blockchain technology, as we already discussed, because with Arweave's blockchain, we can actually store large amounts of data. More recently, Arweave has added in a new system that allows large files to be broken up into smaller parts and progressively uploaded into the blockchain, as well as being able to resume any uploads in case your system goes down whilst you're actually uploading a huge big file. You can start off where you left. And the main benefit of the Arweave upload system is that you only pay for the transactions that you actually do. You don't have to pay to access your files at a later date. It's upload once and download forever. Now, Evermore Data Store basically takes this and puts it in the realms of normal everyday users. We're using a combination of desktop integration with a web client that will help you to store and manage your data. And it's basically a simple drop-in replacement for the likes of Dropbox. So if you've already got a Dropbox, you can simply install the Evermore software and point it at your Dropbox folder, and it will immediately back up everything as if you actually really had Dropbox. But in this case, you're going to go straight into the blockchain. Now I'm going to do a quick demo for you for the things that I can show you about the software. So on your desktop, you will see in your system tray, there's a little icon, and that basically is the entry point to using Evermore. It connects to an Arweave wallet and gives you information about the balance, but also it allows you to then configure that and set up folders that you want to actually have backed up. So in here, I've got an Evermore folder that's selected. And inside of there, we've got different files. Now, these little icons are giving you the status of the files and whether they've been uploaded. And as you can see, some have and some are in the process of being synchronized. So basically, the user comes along and uses this app in the same way as you would with Dropbox. You select a file from somewhere else, or you create a file in there, and you just drop it in. And immediately it recognizes there's a new file and starts uploading it. Now, in addition to the desktop integration, we've also got the Evermore web client, which is basically a site that, first of all, gives you information about it, but also gives you a calculator so you can then go and calculate how much it's going to cost you to upload the data that you've got already. You can also connect this to your web wallet, and you can access your files from pretty much anywhere you like. So you don't necessarily need to be tied to your desktop. You can go in and find those folders. So what's next? Well, we're currently working on file encryption, shareable links so that you can actually send data to other people instead of just storing it for yourself. We want this configure to have multiple folders on the system rather than just one specific area. So if you want to back up certain parts as well, you can select that. And as well as that, we're also working on having Windows, Mac, and Linux desktops integrations so that every system is covered and everyone can use it. So that's it in short. If you want to get in touch, I'm on Discord. You can get me at mykibbert, or my email is mike@hibbertsolutions.co.uk, or you can even look me up on LinkedIn. Just search for Mike Hibbert. So thank you for giving us your time today, and hopefully if you want to come over to my table and we'll have a chat about anything, and if you've got any ideas or suggestions, then I'll be happy to talk things over with you.
Thank you. That's excellent. Thank you very, very much, Mike. And you can also meet Mike at the tables afterwards. All right, we got Tate Birnbaum showing us Nest.land.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for your time, first of all. I'll try to make this quick. Okay, so here's Nest. It's a module registry and CDN for Dino powered by Arweave. So a little bit about me before we begin. My name's Tate Birnbaum. I began coding at age 13. I've been studying blockchain since around the bull run of Bitcoin when it got up to 20,000 or so. And I started Nest as a weekend project. And then that picture is of me in 2020. So what is Dino? Dino was created by Ryan Dahl, who founded Node. It fixes many of Node's problems, one of the most notable being it doesn't require the use of NPM or any sort of centralized entity that controls where your packages are coming from. And it was launched relatively recently, even though it's been in development for around 2 years. So notably, at the top here, we have an import statement for code in Node. And then at the bottom, this is how you'd import a module in Dino. So take note to the fact that you import your code from a web URL. And this is the way Dino goes about not requiring you to use something like NPM. But this has a few issues, because what if a site were to go offline, or a site is deleted, or data is changed? So all of these situations would result in the code breaking, because you wouldn't be able to import these modules that are no longer there or are edited. So that's where Nest.land comes in. So Nest is immutable, it's secure, and it's globally accessible thanks to Arweave. So profit sharing tokens come in here because we can we can put in a small tip on the modules being uploaded whenever a developer uploads a module, and then we can use these minted PSTs to pay out users based on the popularity of their modules. We can also pay them to code-based contributors, and we can use them to make decisions about the platform. So here's a short demo of what Nest is and how you can upload a module. So this is the website in its current state. So first you're going to need to create an account if you don't already have one to get an API key, and that'll allow you to use the platform. And then you can install our CLI, and here it's pre-installed. And this is just a sample module, super simple, hello world. And I'm using my CLI, our CLI, to publish that module to Nest. So you can just type eggs publish and then go back to the gallery where you can see the new module. And it's super simple. And then that's what the information page looks like, where you can see some things about it. So now if we want to use this module in our Dino code, you can import it just like how it's imported at the top there. And then you just run it just like how you'd run a Dino application. And it's installing that module straight from Arweave, and then you can use it just like that. So let's see here. So since launch, we've actually gotten a good bit of traction. We launched exactly a month after Dino launched or went public. So our team of 2 has grown to a team of 15. We now host over 90 modules, and we also occupy over 10% of the market. And 30,000 files we just surpassed last night are being stored and served straight from Arweave. So as you can see to the right, Ryan Dahl, he likes what we're doing, which is super awesome. And Dino, the organization, has also indirectly tweeted about us because people are deploying modules and sharing that link for Nest to see information about the module. So we got a tweet. So thank you so much for your time. I look forward to your questions. If you have any after the pitches, you can reach me by email, and then my GitHub is there, and then Nest.land is how you access it.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Very, very impressive.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now I'm inviting Alex to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sebastian, and whoever is here. So, one second, let me share my screen, and I will show you about non-zone. All right. So, first of all, this is Alex from Italy, and I'm the team lead of non-zone. We are building a global map of stories for experiential and solo travelers. Now, we all travel for different reasons. They may be discovering new cultures, or trying something new, or just breaking away from the routine and having some genuine fun from time to time. But whatever the reason is, what they all have in common is a story, something personal that is connected to that place. The problem with that is that more often than not, what we receive is a general impersonal experience, the classic tourist package that lets us feel something like been there, done that kind of feeling at the end. So non-zone is the exact opposite of that. It's a place with a story, a personal connection. Our solution is to build a global map of stories to let people travel by experience, not only by location. And we approach especially content creators and travelers in the experiential tourism market that has seen a growing interest in the last 5 years, especially in Europe and Italy, that is one of the key players in the world. Now, our traditional competitors are TripAdvisor and Google Local Guides that are quite well established. But our approach is different in that we use storytelling, blockchain, and geofencing combined to let travelers and content creators to connect through stories and give a physical, permanent dimension to the digital content. Now, this makes non-zone a completely different way to approach and experience traveling, and we use the concept of meaningful interaction. As you can see, in our product roadmap, we follow the same vision, and at each release of our product, we provide new meaningful features to our users, something like checkpoints to save in your non-zone passport, or zone tours to leave your signature once you like something. All of this, while in parallel, we'll develop our protocol to create a profit-sharing marketplace, where creators can share and monetize their immutable contents, and travelers can interact with stories to have a more meaningful experience while paying less than a coffee per interaction. We use a dual structure for our profit-sharing token, and we connect the first PST contract to each one of the stories. in the way that every time users pay an interaction fee, they have the possibility not only to reward the creator, but also to co-invest in each one of the stories. This initial profit is divided between the content creator at 90% and non-zone shareholders for the 10%. And in our general PST contract connected to our product is later divided between the non-zone team, the founders, us, and any potential investor interested in our ecosystem. Now, we already released our PermaWeb application, so let me show you how easy it is to add the story to our map. This is an actual story of mine, and is about a 6-week road trip in Lithuania. I just pick a location here, then I add the title, an actual description, that is the story that you want to tell. And after you feel ready, you can just add a snapshot of it to freeze that moment in time for someone passing afterwards. And if you feel right, then you just publish it, and it will cost you less than 1 cent. After that, it will be on the map after a few minutes, and it will be accessible for anyone who passes by in the future. Now, the second meaningful interaction that we already released is to actually discover stories in your area and tip the author for them. So as you can see, you just pick one story. You see all the details about that, the snapshot, the title, story, and so on. If you like it, you click on the piggy bank, add your key file, and tip the author. So in a few seconds, you can make someone happy somewhere in the world. So our team has more than 30 years of experience combined. And in less than 3 months, we already released our PermaWeb application, won a blockchain competition, and successfully completed this incubation program. Our next steps will be to prepare our launch with beta testing in Europe, and launch contests and virtual tours on Instagram and Couchsurfing for starting to populate our map and reach our first 100 daily active users. Thank you very much for everyone. And you can reach out to me, well, pretty much anywhere, and after this presentation at our table for non-zone. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Alex. Very, very cool.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Next up, we got ArGo.
Yeah. Hey, Sebastian. And thank you very much, Arweave team, for providing us the opportunity to present our product, ArGo, a click away from Arweave PermaWeb. So what is story behind us? So what is the story behind us of creating the ArGo? There were a couple of problems which we identified in the Arweave PermaWeb, and we tried to dig into, and we came up with the ArGo. So the first problem, as a developer, if you go into the Arweave to deploy even a single static site or any of the sites, you have to get into the deploy CLI of the Arweave, and then you have to go ahead and do all those nitty-gritty part, and then your site will be up and running into the Arweave network. So as a developer who is more into the business side, who wants to focus on the business, not on the deployment, that is a great drawback, and that is the thing which we are focusing on in our ArGo. And the second problem which we saw is the deployed site versioning. So let's say as a user, I have deployed a site, and that site, I want to see what is the version of the site and when I have deployed it, and what are the things which went into that site. So those things were lagging into the Arweave PermaWeb. And that is the thing which we also brought into ArGo. And the third thing is the logs monitoring system. So let's say as a developer, I want to see what are the files got deployed, and what are the things are what happened, how much time it took to deploy my single site into the Arweave web, and what is the amount it has been charged at that point of time. So all those things we can do using ArGo. So let's get into the ArGo little demo where I'll be showing you how exactly it works. And so as a developer, they have to just come into our ArGo website, log into, have to go into the add new site. The moment you go into the add new site, you just add public repo, or as of now we support public. So add your public repo here, go ahead, whatever the branch you want to push, go ahead and do that. We support multiple package managers and the build commands. You can go ahead and deploy. And for that, we are going to charge little PST, and voila. So after the moment, once deployment is done, you will see a quick link, a preview link, which will redirect you to the deployed version of the site. And also you can go back to the sites, you can see the site versioning as well as the logs. And the beauty of the ArGo is, so as of now, so let's say as a developer, I want to find out the logs, and also for everything, I have to go into the view log, I have to find out the transaction, and I have to know when that transaction happened, and then manually have to find those things out. So that is the place where ArGo enrich, and that is the place where we rock mostly. And coming to the target market, so we are working parallel with the Arweave. So the more and more developer we are going to onboard, the more and more user base we will be getting as a part of a developer. And that is where we are targeting, as our target audience is mostly all the developers who are going to come into Arweave network. Now, coming to the revenue stream, so we have identified three revenue streams. So first one is on the moment someone is going to deploy our site using the ArGo, we will be charging little PST, and then we are going to use the CD. So let's say someone commits and submit the pull request, then also we can put the charge, as well as we are also going to put the little bit charge on the DNS side as well for the DNS configuration. So well said. So the most of the things about the product is product cannot succeed if they don't have a feature. So we have our milestone, and our ultimate goal is to provide a single platform for the Arweave web deployment, and that is where we are heading towards. And thank you very much for listening to me. I am Prashant, and with me Mitrash is also there. So we are a blockchain developer, as well as we also work on Gitcoin for a couple of hackathons we also won. Even Mitrash also has won most of the hackathons in the Gitcoin. So thank you for giving us the attention, and we'll be happy to get the feedbacks and the suggestion. And if you have any questions, let's get back to the table and we'll have a discussion there. Thank you very much, Sebastian.
Amazing. Well done. Okie dokie. Now it's time for Sam. Sam, walk us through Outpost.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro, Sebastian. I'm really excited to be here. As Sebastian mentioned, my name is Sam Hayden, and I am working on Outpost. So a little bit about me and my team. I previously studied computer science at Columbia, and I previously worked at an early stage cryptocurrency startup before starting to work on Outpost. I'm working on Outpost with my friend Jack, who's a really great software engineer. So the problem that we want to solve is that online communities are owned by tech companies. We think this causes a lot of problems online, but fundamentally, one-size-fits-all governance does not work. We don't think there's really one-size-fits-all solutions to a lot of really hard governance problems like content moderation. We saw this earlier this year when a lot of people were upset when Twitter decided to fact check Trump, and then another group of people was upset when Facebook decided not to fact check him. There's just no one-size-fits-all solutions to governance decisions. And then more fundamentally, we think that one-size-fits-all networks removed all natural incentives that exist offline for civil behavior. Online trust and reputation are essential for healthy, productive communities, but trust and reputation are lost in one-size-fits-all networks. People can post fake news, fake reviews, and bad content in general because people will just end up forgetting about it. So our solution is to allow users to create online communities that they actually own. So we're going to show this in a demo quickly. We're live right now on outpostprotocol.com, but to keep this running smoothly, we're just going to show a video. So our initial product is a blogging platform where people can upload blog posts to Arweave, and users are able to sign in within Ethereum wallet. The identity system that we're using are DIDs, which are blockchain agnostic identifiers, and they allow us to upload transactions on users' behalf and still prove that they own it. So we're going to create a community now. When a community is created, a smart contract is deployed on Arweave, and the smart contract defines how the community is governed. So this community we just deployed, I'm the only user of it so far, but this is our existing community where you can see the owners, admins, moderators, and members of the community. So this is the governance portal that we're working on right now. And hopefully a few days, you're going to be able to add members, remove members, moderate content, and then see what previous governance decisions have been made, because everything is on Arweave. It's entirely transparent, so people can change governance to work in their favor. And then lastly, we're going to create a new post quickly to show you how that works. As I mentioned, everything is completely decentralized, so someone else could set up our infrastructure that is completely open source to also show all this data. So we'll upload the post, we'll choose which community that we want to post it to, and then we'll upload the post to Arweave. All right, awesome. So to talk a little bit more on smart contract governance, our governance is based on Wikipedia. Wikipedia has also already found a successful governance system for subjective measures, so we think it makes sense to build off what has already worked. And then communities are also each going to have their own profit sharing token. The profit sharing token is going to entitle holders to a portion of the community revenue, and the tokens are also going to be used for voting and governance decisions. So to talk a little bit more about our long-term vision, we are building online communities that are owned by users. We want to enable the next generation of media. We think that the next generation of the New York Times, the next generation of newspapers and magazines, is just going to be a group of writers creating together online. And in general, the next generation of media is just going to be people creating content together on the internet. Down the road, we would also like to consider exploring other ways that people can capture value online, because we think that more and more people are going to be capturing value online, and there's going to be more opportunities for what are essentially internet native corporations. So thank you very much for listening to the pitch. I look forward to chatting with everyone afterwards.
Thank you very much, Sam. It was really, really cool. Okie dokie. Now we have Luca presenting. Hey, Luca.
Hi. Hope that you can see me. Hello.
See you, hear you. Time to show.
Yep. Sorry, I had a little problem. The PDF crashed right now. Just let me open it again. Yeah. Okay. So sorry for that. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, OpenBits allows developers to earn something from the packages that they publish. So every time someone install their packages, they can just pay to install their packages. So how it works? Developers publish a package and choose the profit that they want to have from that package. Packages are composed by 100 shares. Each share is the price for each share is of course computed on the base of the target profit that developers have chosen. Developers can also choose to reserve 4 pack of shares to investors, and these pack of shares are sold for a very small amount of AR. Okay, so then people start to install these packages. If they want to pay, and they can install packages also if they do not pay, but if they want to pay to install packages, they pay just 1 cent a year to the owner of the package and just 1 cent a year to the OpenBits owner, that in this case it's me. And then when the number of installation is enough to buy a share of the OpenBit, then a share of this OpenBit is taken away from the owner or from the investors and is given to a user that is called the multiverse. Okay. In the end, the original creator of the package will have just 1 share of the package, and the multiverse will have 99% of the package. And in a specific time, the multiverse will represent a specific user that will be paid as long as she earned an amount of AR equal to the price of a share. When all the users have been represented by the multiverse, then it will be the turn of the original owner and the original creator of the package, and this game lasts forever. And this game is works also for the OpenBits, the whole OpenBits itself. So also all the shares of the OpenBits itself will be released to the community. OpenBits right now supplies a website that you can find on openbits.world. It supplies also CLI that you can download from the NPM, and it supports a web application where you can find also stored on openbits.world, where you can find informations about the packages that was published and the shares, and there you can buy shares of other packages. Okay. OpenBits is already designed to be scalable in market. There are a kind of vertical scalability where, because right now OpenBits supports only NPM packages, but it is already designed to support packages for all the most common programming languages like Dino or Rust or Python and so on. There can be developed also other kind of gamified investment plans, and there is also the possibility to create the same system for example, datasets. And there is also a way to scale horizontally in market OpenBits, for example, by creating new markets for open source packages. What I'm thinking, for example, is to allow packages to be traded as for example, CryptoKitties. So you can trade your package and you can allow people to buy the ownership of your package. And it is possible to create API so software for third-party software can use OpenBits, and there are a lot of room to extend OpenBits in the market. The roadmap, I started to develop OpenBits something like 1 month ago. Right now, everything is quite ready. There is, as I already told, there is a website, a web application, and there is the CLI already published on NPM. I think that for the end of September, I will finish what is missing. That is simple, a dashboard to summarize everything and users' activities, to do a little bit of code refactoring, and to do some user tests. And I think that a beta release that can be actually ready to market will be ready in October. That's all. Here you can find everything. All the things about OpenBits are open source, of course. You can find them on GitLab, and that is OpenBits. That is a way to allow developers of open source packages to earn something from the packages that they develop. I'm finished, and I'm open to any question if you have.
All right, so that was, sorry for the technical difficulty there, but I'm back to present Verto. So let me present that. Okay, so this is Verto. It's a decentralized profit-sharing token exchange for Arweave. So as you all have seen, there have been a whole lot of great PST projects out there. And this project idea came about because Nest, when we launched Nest, we're building this PST, but we didn't know how users would be able to exchange it. So normally this would be an expensive process, and it's centralized. And this is not something that users want to do. And the exchange could just at any time choose to delist somebody's token. And there's also a trust factor that you have to have with exchanges. So that's where Verto comes in. The Nest team decided to split off right in half. So 7 of us decided to take 2 weeks and counting to build Verto. So Verto is completely decentralized. It's governed by a DAO. There's not going to be any high costs of entry for PSTs to be listed, and you only need an Arweave wallet to use the exchange. And you can access it at Verto.exchange. We haven't launched yet, so you'll just see a landing page, but that'll be coming soon. So Verto is made of a network of trading posts. So in order to do this in a decentralized way, the trading posts are essentially like entities that can use their computing power similar to mining or running a node, but instead of verifying a transaction or something, you can match people's exchanges. So these trading posts can receive tips, and they get reputations based on the balance of R they currently have, the amount that they've staked, and the amount of time that they've been online. And so the reputation drives competition, and we've also innovated something called a heartbeat mechanism, which will allow the trading posts to hold each other accountable for staying online. So I have a short demo, yet another. So this is the website in its current form. As you can see, you can see your latest trades. You're going to see a little bit of information about PSTs and why Verto. And then, if you'd like, you can choose to sign in up at the top. And as I said before, you only need an Arweave key file to sign in. So this is the dashboard. So on the dashboard, you can see your total balance in R and your wallet, along with the assets that you have and the amounts and their values in R. And you can see the exchanges that you've made. And you can also see all the transactions that have just occurred on your wallet, along with status indicators for each exchange. You can also view all of your exchanges. And so, yeah, let's see here. Now, you can view all of the trading posts available on that page. So with that, you're going to see a list of all of the Arweave wallet addresses that are listed as trading posts that can match your transactions. So you can see some information about them. The current balance that they have. You can see their reputation, and you can see the stake that they have. And you can also see the transactions that have gone on, and you can see the tokens that they currently have and support. So let's say I wanted to trade with this trading post. You could click the Trade Now button. That would bring you to a page where you can see your balance, all of your tokens and amounts. You can choose what you want to send and receive, and you can also select your trading post. So then you're going to click exchange and you'll get a confirmation. And after that, it'll take you back to your dashboard where you can see the new exchange as pending, and you can verify its progress there. So yeah, thank you for your time. You can chat with us on chat.verto.exchange in Discord. And I look forward to your questions after the pitches. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much, Tate. It's amazing to see what you and the team have built in such a short period of time. I think it's like almost a dozen developers working there. Anyway, yeah, be sure to catch up with Tate on the tables afterwards. Hey, Sina, please tell us about WeaveID.
Hey guys, how's it going? Let me just share my screen. Can you see?
We can indeed.
Alrighty. Hey everyone, my name's Sina, and I'm working on a new decentralized app called WeaveID. WeaveID makes it so you can access your Arweave wallet from anywhere. Let's dive in. So I'm sure we're all familiar with the Arweave blockchain and their awesome concept of the PermaWeb. There's so many revolutionary apps that can be built on this platform, but there's just one problem, and that is the wallet key file. Now, most of you have probably already seen this, but for those of you that haven't, let me explain. This is pretty much the main way that you interact or use Arweave apps. So you have to manually drag in or select your wallet's JSON key file in order to log in. This adds a lot of friction to the user onboarding process, not to mention it basically prevents mobile support. In my opinion, this flow is preventing Arweave from gaining the real-world adoption it deserves. There has to be a better solution, right? Introducing WeaveID. WeaveID is a non-custodial wallet for the Arweave blockchain that lets you log in to your Arweave wallet with just an email and a password, just like a normal app. The non-custodial part means that you and only you own your private key. And since all the magic happens on your client, none of your information or your key is ever exposed to any dapps. Not only is this super safe and easy to use, but it also allows Arweave app developers to support more devices. Let me do a quick live demo for you guys. So any app, you can add WeaveID, and when you click login, you'll get a nice login prompt, and we can just use any email and password. And this is going to log us in, which currently is taking a little bit of time because Arweave wallets use such strong encryption to make them so secure. It can take about up to a minute to generate the wallet, but this is only the first time. You can basically check remember me, and it'll save the information to your local storage. Some people don't want to always do that, but it's an option that basically lets you skip the step. So just bear with me for just a second here. This is all kind of dependent on your client and your computing power. So right now, my computer is a little overheated from the screen share and everything, but should be just a second. All right. Woo. So you can see this is my wallet. This is my current balance in AR. So now we can create a transaction. You'll see here it is. And when it comes time to sign it, you'll see this is the raw amount. We'll hit confirm. And boom, it's been signed. Now we can post the transaction. And you can see the main transaction was submitted with a successful status. And we also submitted a PST transaction fee transaction, which was also successful. So let's get back to the pitch. I'm going to explain the PST in just a second. But to get started, all you got to do is add one line of JavaScript to your Arweave app, and boom, you have a login prompt that anyone can use. When it's time to sign a message or send a transaction, another prompt will pop up for your confirmation. You can think of us as like the MetaMask of the Arweave ecosystem. Since we handle all the transactions, we take a small percentage fee from every transfer and we pay it out to all of our PST token holders. If this becomes the main way that people access their Arweave wallets, our token holders are going to be making some good money. Speaking of money, let's dive into the market. According to a recent study on Statista, the blockchain industry is projected to reach a market of $40 billion by 2025. Nearly half of that is going to be in the blockchain platform's components, tools, and services, which is exactly where we fit in. So we're really excited for that. We have a lot of great things planned for this next year, starting with our launch demo day. That's today. Then we're going to get a designer on board, polish up the UI, and start jumping right into adding support for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and tokens. We may also be rebranding to a new name called InstaWallet, which we've already acquired the domain for. After that, we plan to ramp up marketing and gear it specifically towards dApp developers. A little bit about me. My name's Sina Zandapur, and I'm a serial entrepreneur from the Bay Area. I've been building on blockchains for about 3 years, and I've built over 10 different dApps. Prior to this, I was a community mentor at Blockstack, and now I've brought my talents to Arweave, and I want to continue building awesome things. If you want to help me out with that mission, please reach out and let's talk. My email, website is listed here. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Sina. Excellent. So that's the final pitch we have today. Thanks so much for everyone that came along and the presenters. It's really incredible to see all the exciting things that have been built in the community. And also thank you for bearing with us with the technical difficulties just a couple of moments ago with AirMeet. It seems like the pandemic was approximately two or 3 years ahead of teleconferencing technologies. But not to worry. Let's move now to the tables and get to know some of the presenters further. See you, everyone.